So a long time ago, in the northern part of Israel, in a small town called Safat, most famous for where the Kabbalists used to practice and inspire the world of what would ultimately become the Kabbalah. The richest man of that town was sleeping, as usual, throughout the Shabbat morning services. Every now and then, he would almost wake up, trying to get comfortable on the hardwood bench, and then sink back down into a deep sleep. Now, one morning he woke up just long enough to hear the words of Leviticus, in which God instructs the Israelites to bring 12 loaves of challah to the tabernacle. Now, when the services ended, the wealthy man woke up, not realizing all that he had heard, and he thought that God had come to him in his sleep and then asked him to personally bring 12 loaves of challah to God. The man felt honored that God would pick him out of anyone else, but he also felt a little foolish. Of all the things God would want from a person, he wanted 12 loaves of challah? But who was he to argue with God? He went home, baked the bread, and brought it to the temple. Now, upon returning to the synagogue, he wondered, where in the world should I put these massive loaves of challah? And he thought, what better place than the ark? So he put the loaves in the ark, and he says to God, thank you for telling me what you want of me. Pleasing you makes me very happy, and then he left. Now, no sooner had he gone than the poorest Jew in town entered the sanctuary. All alone, he spoke to God in front of the sanctuary. My family is starving. We have nothing to eat. Unless you will perform a miracle for us, we will surely perish. And then, as he was accustomed, he walked around the room to tidy it up. And when he came up to the bima and opened the ark, there before him were 12 loaves of challah. A miracle, the man exclaimed. I had no idea it worked so quickly. He blessed God and ran home to share the bread with his family. Minutes later, the one who left the challah returned to the sanctuary to see whether or not God actually took the challah. Slowly, he sends the bima, he opens the ark, and what do you know? The challah are gone. Oh my God, he shouts, right? You really wanted my challah? I thought you were teasing me. This is so wonderful. You can be sure that next week I would do the exact same thing. So week after week, this goes on. Goes on for a month, goes on for a year, goes on for several years. And then, one day, the rabbi, who was detained in the sanctuary a little longer than usual, watched this entire exchange take place. And afterwards, the rabbi called the two men together and told them what each of them had been doing. I see, says the rich man. Sadly, God really doesn't need the challah. I understand, said the poor man. God hasn't been baking challah for me after all. They both feared now that God no longer would be present in their lives. And then the rabbi asked them to look at their hands. Your hands, he said to the rich man, are the hands of God giving food to the poor. And your hands, said the rabbi to the poor man, also are the hands of God receiving gifts from the rich. So you see, God can still be present in your lives. Continue baking and continue taking. Your hands are the hands of God. Now, many might have heard this story before, or a variation of it, and it's a cute story, right? And maybe warms our hearts a little bit. Now, it's a beautiful tale in which two people come together to help each other by offering a true miracle, right? One without judgment, and one that keeps both persons' anonymity, at least until the rabbi steps in, but that's what we do, right? Now, I tell this tale because of the irony we're faced with this time of year. For it's the holiday season, dominated mostly by Christmas songs, joyous well wishes, and the colors red and green. Beginning now, beginning now, right after Halloween, a little earlier than usual when it started right after Thanksgiving, commercials, movies, and news articles are dominated by spreading what we'll call Christmas cheer. And at this point, with Hanukkah over and 12 days away from the day, the marketing ramps up. And for a Jew, it can feel a little more than obtrusive. Yet at the same time, the spirit and joy of this season is kind of contagious. Now, no matter one's religious identity, people are more giving this time of year. Some of this might have to do with taxes, more so than the holidays. But it seems that so many, regardless of religion, embrace the giving spirit and joyful celebration that this time of year brings. So why, after January 1st, does this warmth and compassion to the post-winter holiday blues? How can we personify this giving spirit throughout the year? And how can we spend a life of joyfulness every day as opposed to one time a year? So our Torah portion's title this week is Vayechi, meaning, and he lived, reminding us how to strive for this daily feeling of life, of joy, of living to give. Live to give something to yourself and something to others, right? Understanding you can't know everything, choose something that you want to learn and do it. Realizing that you cannot cure the world of all ills, choose a charity or four that you're passionate about, and every Shabbat, donate as much as you feel like that you can, no matter the zeros before or after. And knowing that you want to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others, choose 2 things over this year that you are excited about doing and volunteer your time for them. We challenge ourselves to feel good for ourselves and by helping others, that just maybe we too might feel we have lived, and more importantly, bring a little godliness through our hands to this world. Shabbat Shalom.